Hello, you're watching TVS News at 5 with me, Douglas Elliott. It's Sunday, November 7. Let's begin with our top story. The Election Commission, or EC, will be imposing the same SOPs for both Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS and the opposition parties for the upcoming state election. And although yet to be announced, it is likely that the same election SOPs used in Malacca will be practiced in the Sarawak's state election. And this matter was stated by Parti Pusaka Bumi Putra Bersatu or PBB Vice President Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah today.
Well, jawapan saya kepada Chong, saya percaya SPR tidak ada dua set SOP dan undang-undang untuk parti GPS dan juga untuk pembangkang. Apa yang telah ditetapkan untuk GPS juga ditetapkan untuk parti pembangkang. There is no differences.
Karim, who is also the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, said even though the SOPs for the Sarawak state election have not been announced, the government will adhere to any alternative method that is safe to ensure that candidates are able to communicate with the people constantly.
Kalau yang kita tahu, walaupun ia belum dimaklumkan lagi, tapi kalau kita lihat daripada apa yang berlaku di PRN Melaka, yang mana Kementerian Kesihatan telah menetapkan SOP tertentu yang kemungkinan akan diguna pakai juga di PRN Negeri Sarawak nanti. Antaranya adalah tidak boleh berkempen rumah ke rumah, tidak boleh mengadakan rally. SOP itu hanya untuk mereka, SOP itu untuk dua belah pihak. Kami pun tidak boleh. I wish I can go in a rally, pergi ke Dewan Masyarakat ataupun pergi ke masjid ataupun di halayak ramai untuk berucap. Kami pun tidak dapat ruang seperti itu untuk berkempen. Pergi ke rumah-rumah. Sekarang kita pun mencari macam mana hendak berhubung dengan pengundi-pengundi dalam kawasan-kawasan kita. That's why I say there's no two sets of rules, one for them and one for us. We are all the same.
Meanwhile, when asked about who would fill the vacant post of Deputy Chief Minister after the demise of the late Tan Sri Dr. James Jimut Masing, the State Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture said the Sarawak government has yet to reach the discussion stage as a sign of respect during the mourning period.
Well, I think we have not reached that stage yet. I think the family is still in mourning. After the election, I think Right Honourable Chief Minister will know who and who should be the Deputy Chief Minister, or who and who will be holding position as ministers. And of course, Right Honourable Chief Minister will discuss with all the component parties.
Karim added that currently the state government is focusing its strategy on winning the upcoming 12th state election, and he hopes that the voters would continue to give their mandate to the current ruling coalition to serve them for the next 5 years.
At the moment, our focus is more towards winning the election, winning it handsomely, and I believe that we will win handsomely this time. We do hope that the people of Sarawak, the voters, will give us the mandate.
Several areas in BINTANGOR and SARIKEI were flooded following the high tide phenomenon, causing the water from the Rejang River to overflow at several villages.
Fenomena ini kebiasaannya berlaku sekitar 2 hingga 3 jam dan mengikut pemantauan yang dibuat oleh pasukan bomba daripada Balai Bomba BINTANGOR, kedalaman yang paling tinggi yang dicatatkan adalah sedalam 2 kaki ataupun 0.5 meter daripada paras jalan, dan kebanyakan kawasan di sekitar Pekan BINTANGOR dan beberapa buah kampung, iaitu sebanyak lebih kurang 7 kawasan telah dinaiki air.
According to BINTANGOR Fire and Rescue Chief Nicholas Belulin, the situation is expected to last until the end of the month. Nonetheless, he assures that the situation is under control and that the said phenomenon is expected to last briefly. Meanwhile, Nicholas said the Bomba department will increase their monitoring in preparation for early evacuation should something untoward were to happen. According to Bomba, there are 22 areas in Bintangor listed as flood-prone areas.
The first reading of the bill to amend the federal constitution so as to be in line with the 1963 Malaysia Agreement MA63 was presented in the Parliament sitting on November 3rd. According to a minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Parliament and Law, Datuk Sri Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, among the proposed amendments are to the definition of Sarawak natives under Article 161A of the Federal Constitution. He said with this amendment, the power to decide a person's race to be recognized as native can be determined through state laws.
This effort is welcomed by renowned SAPE player Alena Murang, who is also a Sarawakian. Alena said this effort is something that Sarawakians look forward to, especially those who were born from a mixed marriage family.
Sarawak prides itself so much on mixed marriages, and if this bill is passed, it means that people like myself who have one native Sarawakian parent and one parent who is not native Sarawakian, we will now be considered as native. And prior to this, we weren't considered as native or Bumiputra by our state. So it's something that I really hope will be seen through and we can be reconciled with who we really are as native people of Sarawak.
At the same time, Alena praised the government for its efforts in defending the rights of the people of Sabah and Sarawak in line with the spirit of MA63.
MA63 represents the restoration of our rights, the restoration of the rights of Sabah and Sarawak in the Federation of Malaysia. It was just what the original intent was. And I think moreover, this whole thing just shows us that our leaders today have been fighting for something that is bigger than ourselves, and we've been fighting together for something that is right, something that is rightfully ours. And I think that for the youth of Sarawak, that is a great example from our leaders today.
The second reading of the bill will be presented at the Parliament sitting being held now. Wan Junaidi said the reading of the bill was the first step in the effort to restore the basic rights and principles that form the Federation of Malaysia.
Hai, saya Alena Murang. Nantikan janji temu kita dalam Inspirasi TVS di mana saya akan menyampaikan cerita mahupun laporan menarik dari seluruh Malaysia. Jangan lupa Inspirasi TVS Sabtu dan Ahad ini pada jam 8.35 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122.
Pilihan Raya Negeri Sarawak ke-12, 82 kerusi Dewan Undangan Negeri Sarawak dipertandingkan. TVS membawakan data, analisis, berita dan informasi terkini tentang kesemua Dewan Undangan Negeri. Hanya dalam Sarawak Decides di TVS, saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
Welcome back. Starting this year, the National Family Month will now be called Malaysian Family Month. Celebrated in November, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said the event would be a platform to strengthen family ties and embrace the spirit of inclusion among the Malaysian family.
Speaking at the launch of the celebration today, Ismail Sabri said it aims to ensure the prosperity and unity of a large family. Organized by the Women, Family and Community Development Ministry, he said the celebration could be held at the national level with the cooperation of government agencies as an annual event to strengthen the Malaysian family well-being. He hoped that others, such as the private sector and the community, would also participate in the family well-being program. Earlier, Ismail Sabri had launched the concept of the Malaysian family, which is based on the values of inclusion, togetherness and gratitude in his inaugural speech after being appointed as the 9th Prime Minister on August 22.
No punishment will be taken against Muhammad Ziyad Zulkifli and his coach following the disqualification at the recent Tokyo Olympics, which cost him a gold medal and a new world record. The Malaysian Para-Athletics Association, POPM, said it has no intention of pursuing the matter further when evidence was announced by the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
The evidence formed by the Internal Investigation Committee provided closure to Muhammad Ziyad and his coach, Muhammad Faisal's punctuality controversy, where both individuals failed to show proof that they had arrived at the call room on time. POPM stated that they will constantly remind team managers as well as coaches and athletes to take note of the date and registration time before any event begins. Ziyad was denied gold in the F20 intellectual disability shot put event during the Tokyo Paralympics. The 31-year-old was classified did not start or DNS after the Ukraine team protested and claimed that Ziyad was late coming to the call room prior to the event. Currently, Ukraine thrower Maxim Koval holds the world record that was previously set by Ziyad with a throw of 17.34 meters.
And finally, national badminton ace is inches away from his first title in 8 months after storming to the final rounds of the Hilo Open 2021 in Germany earlier today. The second-seed shuttler defeated 6th-seed player Srikanth Kidambi of India in the semi-finals to set up a final showdown against the unseeded Loh Kian Yew of Singapore later today. And that concludes TVS News at 5. For the latest development, follow us on our social media, and I'll see you again tonight on Nightline.
Pilihan Raya Negeri Sarawak ke-12, 82 kerusi Dewan Undangan Negeri dipertandingkan. TVS membawakan data, analisis, persembahan menarik serta informasi tentang kesemua Dewan Undangan Negeri. Berita terkini dan komprehensif. Laporan wartawan di lokasi.
Laporan Odlin Ketedi. Saya Prisla John.
Saya Karizari Afindi.
Laporan Salahsia Safia.
Saya Lukman Muhammad.
Laporan daripada saya Jessica Chung.
Ruben Gomez. Saya Studawi. M. Haris Zainuddin.
Untuk TVS.
Untuk TVS.
Sarawak Decides hanya di TVS saluran 122 mulai Isnin.